Now to our top story. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is pushing back against the growing wave of protests and calls for a ceasefire with Hamas. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis went on strike for hours on Monday. This shut down schools, government buildings before a labor court ended it. Protests continuing into the night. Demonstrators clashing with police and demanding a deal get done. In his first news conference since the bodies of 6 hostages were recovered over the weekend in Gaza, the prime minister saying the war will end when Hamas is eliminated. NewsNation's Tom Dempsey has the latest from Washington, D.C. this morning. Tom, good to see you once again. What is the latest from what the White House is saying about a possible ceasefire deal?
Hey, good morning, Markie. This morning, calls for a ceasefire definitely face a renewed push after the recent deaths of those 6 Israeli hostages. President Joe Biden saying that he hopes to speak with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu eventually after meeting with his team inside the Situation Room here at the White House.
We're in the middle of a negotiation. We're still in negotiation, not with him, with my colleagues from Qatar and from Egypt.
Now, those comments from President Joe Biden came after he and Vice President Kamala Harris met with Secretary of State Antony Blinken, the CIA director, and the National Security Advisor, and held talks with the hostage deal negotiating team. President Biden accusing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of not doing enough to secure a deal, but said that mediators could be close to reaching an agreement to free the remaining hostages. Now, exact details of what a ceasefire could look like or what this agreement potentially being worked on still remain unknown, but it would likely involve at least a temporary ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, as well as the release of Palestinian prisoners, some of them, as well as some of the Israeli hostages still being held in Hamas custody. Markie?
Yeah, that is yet to be seen. A lot on the line here. Tom, while I still have you, what more do we know about the wave of protests in Israel?
They're still happening this morning, and just some crazy scenes to see out of Israel. We're talking tens of thousands of people gathering on the streets, many of them voicing anger and grief at the recent deaths of these hostages in Hamas custody. Again, like I said, they were saying that some of them could have survived if a deal came sooner. But in his first public address since these protests erupted, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sort of pushed back, denying it was his fault for the hostages dying. Instead, he's blaming Hamas for allegedly not wanting a deal. Netanyahu saying he would support the first phase of a ceasefire, which would release some Palestinian prisoners and Israeli hostages and bring a partial pullout of Israeli forces, but not a full withdrawal, insisting Hamas must be crushed. And if our viewers at home are wondering, what is taking so long with this ceasefire deal, this map gives us a glimpse into some of that. This corridor along the Gaza and Egypt border remains a big point of these negotiations. Israel wants control of this corridor to allegedly stop Hamas from smuggling in weapons, but Hamas wants Israel forces totally gone after a ceasefire deal gets reached. And adding a lot onto the concerns with these negotiations, Markie, is Hamas's military wing saying a new policy is now in place to kill Israeli hostages if Israeli forces try to rescue them. In total, Israel says 101 hostages remain in Hamas custody, with around a third of them believed to be dead. Markie?
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.